Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Let me start with this quote. If the rest of the country had adopted right to carry handgun provisions back in 1992, about 1,500 murders and 4,000 rapes would have been avoided. This was written by John R. Lott Jr. in his book More Guns, Less Crime in 1997. He has since updated that with later statistics, but just imagine how many lives could have been saved from 1992 to 2012 if laws in all 50 states had been enacted back in 1992, and how many women wouldn't have to suffer that tragedy. It's concealed carry permits are legal in 49 states in the United States. Illinois is the only state that doesn't permit it, and Washington, D.C. also does not permit it as well. There are also very strict laws concerning the training and the permit getting of these concealed carry licenses from each state. And there are also, most states have what they call reciprocity, where if one state's laws mirror the state the license holder is in, then they will honor that permit as being valid in their state as well. You might ask yourself, why would anybody want to carry a dangerous weapon in the first place? Let me tell you about concealed carry permit holders. Most of them have a very strong desire to protect themselves and to protect their families, their loved ones. And they also train quite frequently with weapons and are very adept at using them and understanding them. And usually train with them and shoot them on a daily basis in many cases. People use guns almost daily in the United States to defend themselves, defend their homes, and defend their loved ones. This is documented in many trade magazines, kind of like concealed carry magazines, gun magazines, and the National Rifle Association documents this as well from many local papers throughout the United States. Concealed carry permits are growing wildly throughout the United States as well. There's a reason it's growing so fast. Many states since 1992 have enacted it. Like I said, there's 49 states now that have permissions for people to gain that concealed carry permit. So that's one reason it's growing so fast. Another is word of mouth. People talk about their sport and the fact that they love to shoot, and they talk to other people about it, and they get them involved in the shooting sports. You might ask yourself, though, does it actually help lower crime rates? In fact, in John Lott's study that he did in the book that I mentioned earlier, he wrote that violent crimes were 22% lower in states that with concealed carry laws. And this also can be seen in the FBI's annual Uniform Crime Report, where there is demonstrated to be a 30% lower murder rate, a 46% lower robbery rate, and a 12% lower aggravated assault rate within states that have concealed carry. He also stated that from the time states passed the right to carry concealed handgun laws, the average murder rate dropped from 6.3 for every 100,000 to 5.2 for every 100,000 in a matter of 9 to 10 years after those laws were enacted. He wrote, this was documented in Human Events Review paper. In Kansas alone, there are over 55,000 permits that people have concealed carry, and they also there's only been 44 people that have been charged with a crime out of those 55,000 people. That works out to about 1 in every 1,161 permit holders, or in other words, 0.09% of permit holders that have committed crime. Whereas Kansas' violent crime rate for the general public is 3.4 for every 1,000 people. So the concealed carry permit owners are by and large more law-abiding than just the general public is. Why should you carry? Let me tell you about that. I've kind of wondered about the stigma that's attached to law-abiding, peace-loving citizens that choose to carry armed and carry handguns with them. I mean, from the time this country was founded, we grew up with guns, and even little kids were learning how to shoot guns at a very early age from the time this country was founded up until just 50 years ago. I have a question to ask you. After hearing some of the news from the day, have you ever imagined yourself bound and gagged while two psychopaths have your loved ones in another room, their screams for help going unanswered because you've been tied up and are unable to stop their torture and their abuse? This is a question that's been raised by Jeffrey Anderson in his book, Home Defense Tactics. Dr. Bruce Eimer states in an article that he wrote for U.S. Concealed Carry magazine, if you do not start, provoke, instigate, or escalate the confrontation, you are the defender. You are not the aggressor. He also states that a person's defense in these situations should not be passive, but they should be aggressive to stop the attacks. A criminal, by definition, does not care about the rules of society. If you want to make it out alive in many, if not all of these situations, you must fight with as much force that's at your disposal. It also provides peace of mind. As a trained and practicing gun owner, you feel confident in your ability to fight back if necessary. Now, obviously, that is not most gun owners' desires to fight back, but if it's necessary, they have the option available to them. Like the Boy Scouts motto says, always be prepared. Finally, is your life or the lives of your loved ones worth you being passive and unprepared about your personal protection today? My answer is no, not at all. As Americans, we have many blessings in being born in a free and lawful nation, a nation that is established by laws. We must not take that kind of thing for granted. One, it's our duty to protect ourselves. It's our duty to protect our loved ones. And finally, the police aren't always there to protect you when you need the protection the most. They usually come there after the fact, and it's always too late for you and your loved ones. And finally, it's just plain fun to shoot. The best way to teach kids about proper use of firearm is if your parent teaches them how to do that. Bottom line, shooting is fun if it's done properly, and self-defense is our responsibility, and being able and capable brings peace of mind to the gun owner. I hope maybe this helped you understand a little more about concealed carry, folks, and made you think more about this issue. Thank you. Good night.